best spot that he could end up. And, Mark, I'm going to start with you because you're a sensible man.
I am sensible, not a Taylor Swift fan specifically, but I will say this. I think it's the Atlanta Falcons. There's a lot of reason for this. Dan Quinn, he coached in Seattle when Richard Sherman had some of his best years, knows the scheme very well. You can pair him up with Desmond Trufant. And the Falcons, you know what? It's going to cost a lot to get Richard Sherman, but the Falcons are a win-now operation. They want to get back to the Super Bowl, keep improving that defense. I think it's a fit for a lot of different reasons, starting with the head coach. He loves Richard Sherman.
How about a nice shot in the arm for a franchise that might still be in a little bit of mourning and stunned about what happened in the
very
first week
easy
of February?
PR with the fan base as well.
I do think they like their young secondary, so I don't know if they're really looking to add there.
Oh, wow, Greg.
I'm just saying.
Right out of the gate, we got Greg.
Very disrespectful. You're up, Wes.
Unlike Greg, I thought that made a lot of sense.
Thank you, Wes.
I think the Titans make the most sense. A team that, for a 2-month stretch last year, had as good an offense as any in the NFL. It's the defense that's the weakness, especially in the secondary. And they have the draft ammo with an extra first-round pick and a bold GM who's not afraid to make trades. Richard Sherman could be the missing piece in a division where, let's be honest, the Texans, they don't even care about winning. They don't care who they run out of quarterback.
Wow, Wes.
The Colts don't have a defense, and
Also
the Jags.
disrespectful.
Nobody could take the Jags
South is
seriously
up for
with Blake
grabs.
Bortles, so the South is way up for grabs.
All great points, Wes. Much better than Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm going to take care of Greg after this production.
There's a weird, I think it was all the Taylor Swift, weird energy now in this room. But, all right, I'm breaking a cardinal sin of mine. I hate doing this because I hate whenever there's a big-ticket item out there on free agency or on the trade. Everybody's like, oh, he's going to the Patriots, man. Look out for Belichick. But in this case, I actually think that's what's going to happen potentially. And I know there are reports out there that they're not interested. But doesn't it make sense? And the whole thing, Wes, I've been talking about it for weeks, that the Patriots won the Super Bowl, and now they clicked into win-now mode. What's a better win-now mode, especially if you go and you do trade Malcolm Butler, because it doesn't look like that's a long-term marriage, and you fill that void, and all of a sudden you got Stephon Gilmore and Richard Sherman in the back end. Oh, my God, it's a terrifying thought, but it could happen.
You'd have to trade Butler, though, because you have no pick until the third round.
Right. It's all contingent on that, but I feel like that's happening.
And the Patriots always have a plan for a player. I think they could maximize Richard Sherman in his final years instead of putting him in positions where he doesn't play well.
Do they really want to put $25 million into 2 cornerbacks, though?
I don't see that happening.
Sensible.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with another team, the Oakland Raiders, who have a connection to Richard Sherman. Ken Norton Jr., the defensive coordinator, also a former NFL Total Access host way back in the day. Okay. He coached Richard Sherman. He was a linebackers coach there in Seattle. They have a similar system. They're not afraid to spend a lot of money at cornerback. I don't think David Amerson really worked out for them last year, and you mentioned it on the show yesterday, Wes. How about pairing Marshawn Lynch and Richard Sherman in Oakland? They're going big. I know Reggie McKenzie doesn't like to give up draft picks, but I think it could make sense here.
You're forgetting. Go ahead, Wes.
I think Seattle South, right there in the Bay.
Yeah, you're forgetting, by the way, there's only one team that's allowed to have blockbuster mega trades. It's the Patriots. They're going to be it's going to happen.
Things can change. Kind of a disastrous point by Greg, but overall, it worked out.
Is there any concern here that this is not the same Richard Sherman as it was earlier in his career? Even his brother was on record saying he thought this trade rumor was good for him to get him motivated a little bit.
Well,
I don't know.
Fair. And he's 29 years old.